kind of en route again, but I just did more of a Celtic cross sort of reading here for you. So just wanted to get an idea of what was going on for you in terms of current energy. So I'll flesh it out, and right now just gave you the general sort of synopsis of what I see here. So just in looking at the cards, it does look as though, I mean, the Fool card, of course, is something about taking a leap of faith or trying something, wanting to go into a new direction here. It looks as though you're eager for some kind of change in your life. But it definitely feels as though with that Fool energy that you're seeking something for sure. The Fool, of course, is also that energy of, you know, fresh starts, new adventures, that kind of thing. But it definitely speaks of wanting to go out into, you know, something that you want to go out into a new journey, or go on to a new journey here. But with that next card here, the Eight of Cups, I mean, that speaks to, you know, feeling a lot of confusion. There are too many choices for you to sort of make here. And again, I'm going to flesh this out. This is just sort of the general idea. But again, Seven of Cups still feels as though there's a lot of confusion ahead for you in this, right at this time anyway. It just feels like, you know, there's a lot of choices, a lot of wonderful things that you could go ahead with, but you're just not in that place yet where you're feeling balanced enough to move forward on something. So again, I mean, this is still, you know, also choosing a lesson. You know, it's also about looking at all the things that you can accomplish, but again, there's going to be lessons for everything that you try to go after, but that's part of the journey. So when we look at the Knight of Wands, it feels like it's kind of, that's back and forth sort of energy here for me, and it definitely speaks to, I feel like it's you at this time anyway. This is what you're representing. So it feels as though you're in a space where you want to go forward. Again, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Knight of Wands is still, you know, having some confidence and enthusiasm and a lot of passion for, you know, a new adventure, but yet, excuse me, it still feels like there's some energy around, could be Sagittarius also that's present here as well, but that stands out. But again, it still sort of feels like you're just not sure about the path ahead and which wand or which cup to sort of entertain. But there is some kind of, you know, speed or haste in the adventure that's kind of coming forward. And again, I will sort of flesh it out here a little bit more in a minute. When we get to the next card here, so the card of, this is really the goal that you, for this period right now. It feels like you're doing a lot of inner battling. So there's a lot of internal turmoil that you're still trying to work through. So this is really the goal at this time. Like, you really have to sort of consider all of your self-talk. Consider the things that you're saying to yourself at this time, because that's really where the blockage is. And so the goal is to, you know, once you can stop fighting yourself, or, you know, find some level of resolution for the disagreements within yourself, and the conflicts that you're kind of squabbling over, this is where you want to look for problem solving techniques. That's kind of where this is. So it just feels like there is a little bit of a disruption in that area. You know, petty arguments, minor annoyances, that kind of thing is really what comes up here. And it feels like, you know, once you're able to focus on that, I feel like you will be able to go forward with your goals. But currently, that's the energy that you're in that seems to be of issue. The challenge as well is, of course, you know, looking at the Justice card. That's a major arcana, so that is a big challenge for you to kind of overcome here. So maybe I'll turn it this way here. But the Justice card is a card of, you're trying to find balance, you're trying to find fairness, you're trying to figure out, you know, what is the best route to go here that still keeps me in a place where I feel like I can maintain it. You know, I feel like you're feeling as though you don't have, I don't want to say competency or anything. It feels like it's more, you know, you're trying to find a way to preserve or create a certain level of balance in your life, and that seems to be lacking, because all the cards above here, the Fool card is really adventure, leap of faith, and Knight of Wands is still that same energy of, I want to just get out there and try something new. And you've got all this confusion and this inner turmoil, battles going on. So that's obviously where you need to balance all that out. So you've got some kind of integrity and quality, the equality, as well as balance, you know, before you can really move ahead. So again, that's your challenge this month. That seems to be the really big player here. The influence right now seems to be money. So money seems to be a bit of the concern right now. That might be something that you need to, you're just hanging on to, or you're trying to build up your resources at this time. That Four of Pentacles still speaks to, still being okay, still, but I would say that you're still at this point just really um, closed off, even with regards to your own emotions, so on, because there's also a feeling of a resistance to change. And so there's some maybe unhealthy boundaries here, and I feel like you're just being reluctant about, because you're unhappy, you're being reluctant about going forward. And so there's a sense of fear around, I would say, emotional fear, as well as choices, as well as money, that kind of thing. All of these are sort of coming through. When we get over here to, this is the next card out. So again, the World card is, this is where the past influence, maybe I'll sort of go back there. Sorry, the past influence is the Ace of Swords. So I feel like you were in a place where you felt like you knew where you were headed, or at least you thought you knew where you were headed, and things were looking pretty clear. Things looked like you had an understanding of your direction, but then something changed. So again, I feel like this is, you're still getting clear on some of that energy. But again, like, this is the past influence. So there was probably some kind of an idea that you were trying to maybe get clear on, or at least you had an idea, and somehow that was lost here. So, or has changed. The World card is the card of that approaching influence, and of course that's an end cycle card. So you're in a place now where you're about to move into something entirely different. So that means that there is going to be some lessening of all this energy here with all of that negative cycle, and the lack of balance, and there could be even some confusion in around specifically a Libra energy here as well. But I mean, the energy, the Eight of Cups, is there's just a lot of confusion and, like I say, petty squabbles that are going on, and I feel like that's kind of putting you in a place of resistance, again, resistance to change and not willing to go forward. But you're almost in this energy of the World, which is a completion cycle. So again, this is, for some, this could be a full year time cycle. But it is going to be some kind of successful end from whatever this was over here. You're going to get through it, and you're about to move into a more resourceful period in your life, because the outcome is actually the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords is somebody who is, again, this could be a Libra energy, but it feels like could be mother, father here as well. I've got Emperor energy, but it's also taking control of a lot of the things that are going on around you. So you're feeling like you actually have more going in your corner here to be able to, you've got some deep wisdom and that kind of thing coming through, because this is, even though you're still very closed off with this kind of energy, very high boundaries, and again, kind of pulled back with the way that you're dealing with things. You're not very communicative at this point, and I would definitely say that you're really trying to assert your independence here. But I feel like this is personal development, and certainly seems to be coming through in around your mental state. So this is also finding truth in wisdom and that kind of thing. And with the Emperor here as well, it just feels like a lot of intelligence is coming through, further out for you. But right now, you're finding your way and you're trying to see clearly. You are feeling a little bit more alone at this time, but there is deep wisdom that's coming through, and it definitely is through suffering that you have learned, but there is kind of that fairness and that coolness, calm, cool, collected sort of feel. The Emperor is also, like I say, somebody who's really feeling like they can take control of a situation, or at the very least, they want to take control of a situation. The Emperor, again, could stand for a father figure, anything along that line, but it certainly speaks to, something coming through in terms of an Aries as well. But it's the realization, and I feel with that combination, it's the realization up ahead that you're about to have a higher degree of control over your life, or you'll feel that you have more control over something, and you'll have gained valuable wisdom and life experience in this period. very close to being in that energy, but you're not quite there yet. You could also be the leader of a family here as well, and certainly a very responsible, balanced person. This is, you know, taking things to the next level, to a higher degree, because the Emperor is somebody who has learned through experience, but definitely has qualities about, you know, wanting to be perceived as more of a boss or a father figure, or some kind of very, you know, ruling kind of energy. It does definitely feel as though, like I said, this is something where you're establishing yourself in some way, and could be even establishing yourself as an authority in a particular way as well. But either way, there's a lot of much more independent energy that's coming through there. Eight of Pentacles, that is still the energy of working on things. So I feel like this is really putting in time, effort, energy into the small details of a situation. So this is the current energy that you're in. And like I said, Eight of Pentacles is definitely about, you know, hard work that you are establishing here, but there's a lot of practical knowledge and determination to level yourself up in some way. So again, this could be, it's just very determined in developing skills. It feels like you want to develop more skills in a particular area. I'll go through this. Maybe I didn't do a love sort of interest on this one, but we'll kind of get into some of that a little bit more here too. We'll just sort of go through this part of it right now. It seems to be more along the trying to figure out yourself as far as, you know, your independence and that kind of thing. That seems to be the predominant energy I'm reading here. But again, this is still you blossoming. This is you blooming into this powerful sort of place. You know, you are trying to find your happiness here. And again, Nine of Cups means that, you know, you are seeking abundance, that you're seeking happiness. You're seeking some kind of full, happy, confident you. The Nine of Cups is an energy of a wish fulfillment coming through, even though this is not quite the energy you're in yet, but it does certainly speak to you finding a way to get there anyway. Something that is going to come through that's going to make you feel as though you're prosperous, or a wish is granted, or there's something that's moving in your favor. And again, this could even be, I wouldn't say necessarily gathering with group of friends and that kind of thing at this point, because it still feels like there's kind of too many boundaries sort of surrounding you at this point. So I wouldn't say that you're in that space just yet. Okay, so again, when we kind of go back to the main energy here, so that main energy, I'll just pull it forward here a bit. The main energy, again, was the Fool. So this is the major arcana. This is what is coming through as kind of where you are at right now. So it is the heart of the matter. Again, this is where you want to, you know, you want to get out there and figure out who you are. I feel like this is where you want a new beginning. And like I said, there's new projects or some kind of new adventure. Possibly travel is up ahead here as well. But these are the things that you are considering at this time. I feel like you're not really quite ready to make that commitment just yet. Further out, I do see it, but not at this point, because when I see it around, you know, you're too restless to kind of stick to one idea at this point with that Knight of Wands energy. I'll just pull that forward here again. We'll kind of go back to the other cards there. But that Knight of Wands energy is, I don't feel like you're really fully committed to moving in a particular direction just yet. So it might be underway, but you're just not in that space yet. So again, you can expect things to turn out, you know, start going in a more positive direction here, but right now you're just too restless to kind of stick to any idea. I feel like you're also in a space of, even when it comes to romance or any kind of emotional offers, I don't feel like you're in that space yet. I feel like you're, again, too restless to stick with that, not ready for commitment. There's just too much here, that's too much adventure that you would like to sort of seek, or moving in some kind of new direction that you would like to try before you kind of jump into things, but you're not in that space yet. So again, kind of the blockage or the challenge. Okay, so again, this is the goal. At this time, I feel that you really need to get hold of you need to make some shifts. You need to make some progress in around your emotions. It feels like your emotions are what are hindering you here. There's a certain level of uncertainty that kind of goes with that Five of Wands. And again, I mean, fives are all about you needing to shift your perspective, you needing to change something. It definitely is you kind of being steered in the wrong direction, I feel, in the past, and now you are trying to figure out a way to overcome that. You're also easily triggered at this time, but I feel like you want to find something that you're passionate about. It definitely feels like you are, maybe feeling like you're competing with other people, or you feel like you're kind of left out of something and kind of drifting away here. But either way, I feel like you just have to persevere and you will get over this, because right now it just feels like you're afraid to stand out or get attacked or anything like that. But I feel like you are able to, further out, overcome this. You're just not quite in that energy yet. You're just a little bit too stressed. Things are moving a little bit too quickly. You're a little bit too easily emotionally triggered. And I feel like this is, you're still in a place though where you want to rise, or can rise to the challenge though, with the Five of Wands, because following that is the Six of Wands. And since we do have the cards further out showing that that is where you're headed, you're obviously going to overcome it. And again, still part of that energy though, as well, as far as what the heart of the matter was, is it's that in and out energy. We'll just kind of go right into this one here too. So when we're looking at the Four of Pentacles, like I said, this is really in around an unknown influence. These are the things that, are not quite available to you maybe to see, but you're still in a closed off sort of period, but you're trying to create some foundation and stability for yourself. Right now, again, you're still in a place where you're planning, and there's a lot more. You're still in a stable, sort of solid oriented place here, but it just feels like you're not ready to move on it just yet. You're acting from a place of stability, but it isn't a place where you can fully say you can assert yourself yet. So Four of Pentacles is still a card of more money to come, and it certainly is a good amount of money that can be coming in here further out, but you're just not in that space yet where you feel that's the unknown influence. That's where things are going to start to show up here. You're just not in that space yet to see it. So again, the unknown influence is where you're very protected, whether you know this or not. And you are having some difficulty adjusting to any new situation, or to a new you, or to some scenario in that, that kind of idea. But again, you're still pursuing your goals. So I feel like you are wanting to work hard on your goals and accomplishments, but you just don't feel like you have, you're not really sure that what's going to bring you the satisfaction right at this point. So even if you're, in a job at some point, or in a job, I don't feel like there's new job or any energy coming in here, because the past influence was the job, but it feels like you're just sort of in a bit of a transitory period. So even in terms of, mindset, it feels like you're kind of clinging to old ideas, clinging to old past thoughts about even in a relationship, or old ideas of who you were and who you think you are. But I feel like that energy is coming to a conclusion here, because you are not in a space, or you won't be moving into a repeat of old patterns and old thoughts. So, you're discontented here, I would say, for this period in June right now. And I feel like you're trying to find your inner comfort zone. And this is really as well about messages and things coming through in some way that will help you to move forward. So it might be more epiphanies. Well, I don't want to say big epiphanies, because I don't really see, for me, Judgment card is what comes out on that basis. But I feel like your emotions right now, there's kind of a holding back of protecting yourself, that kind of thing. But again, the energy of the Ace of Swords was that energy around the past influence. So the past influence is that you were trying to really get clear on who you were, what you want, all of that thing, anything with it. And it could, again, new jobs come in here. This was the past influence, I would say, for some, not for all of you. It's just going to resonate in the ways that it resonates to you. But a new situation has begun. That's the past influence. Something has changed, where there's some kind of new potential, or new newness that came in here in the month of June. So that is where I think you've got a starting point here, where you feel like this is what's going to help to bring about some new changes for you, and there's clarity that'll help you to see, you know, probably, well, possibly by winter as well. For some of you, this may be where you're starting to get a little bit more clarity, but I still feel like this is, everything should become clear. There's a lot of self-discipline and control in your world. You're starting to break away from those old beliefs, at least that's what was happening there in the past, because there are some breakthrough moments here with mental clarity. And I do feel like that adversity is strengthening you. So whether you feel that strength or not right now, to me, you're still sort of fighting yourself. Still got a lot of boundaries up. So when you have boundaries up, you can't really make changes. You can't really see things to its fullest extent, because you're not allowing yourself to feel it, experience it, go through any more pain. You kind of cut yourself off for a little bit because you had to kind of peel away sort of the layers of pain so that you could kind of figure out ways to get past it, get through it. But this again is where you're starting to, the past is where you started to come up with some new ideas, and that was the past influence, and you were taking advantage of those new ideas. So you did see some opportunities and you acted on it. And again, it feels like, you know, it still feels like, you know, you are feeling a little bit threatened, you know, on some levels, emotionally, as well as in terms of communication. Things might not be turning out that way. Communication might not be as clear as you would like it to be with people at this point, but I do feel like, you know, stress and anxiety will start to break through as you go along, because this is not energy of no growth. This is energy of growth, because that Ace of Swords, you know, pushes things ahead. You're starting to see a path. And so whether or not, I don't see big moves on the path yet, but it is coming in. When we get to the world energy, again, this is conclusive energy. It is a big major arcana. So this is what's coming in, and this is going to be sort of the approaching influence. So like I said, I mean, I definitely feel with that world card, you will successfully conquer whatever it is that you're sort of dealing with right now. I mean, the world card does speak to possible travel to kind of regain some perspective, but there's a certain level of, when I say goal completion, I don't feel in this particular instance the goal completion is, you know, some project you're working on. I think it's the goal is that you're actually conquering your own mindset to some extent here, so that you can move into the next layer of that, you know, overhaul of that situation that you're trying to work through. And again, even with it's more of a self-actualization card is really what the world sort of, you know, speaks to. It's where you're starting to open up, you know, to the world in some way. Again, you know, for some of you, it could be through a situation of travel, because we do have the Fool card in there as well. Could be speaking to people at a distance internationally, that kind of thing. But either way, I feel like you're in a place where you're looking for something for sure in this period. Whatever you're kind of waiting on, I feel like it will be further out. It'll be more than what you sort of expect to find. It is sort of striking a balance, like I said, and looking at the deeper meanings of life and what that means for you. Because like I said, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of obstacles that you are sort of dealing with at this time in the month of June, but most of them are sort of self-imposed. It's really you on you kind of energy. The other part, again, like even just in reflecting back there, because we did actually have the card of Libra energy also coming through with that Justice card, but it feels like, again, there's kind of maybe you being detached, but there's also a sense of needing to compromise. And there is also, you know, making a decision and trying to look for a way to look really hard at yourself and the situation, to try to be fair and bring some kind of justice into, you know, how you're thinking about a situation, because you might be a little bit rigid, especially when I see the Emperor over here, a little bit rigid in your thought patterns and in the way that you're thinking about something. And I feel like that is part of the goal, that you need to sort of, you know, show a little bit of flexibility here, because it's all about balance, balance, balance when we, you know, discuss that Justice card. So again, there's a lot of rules that I feel like you'll be following here. because you are dealing with a lot of goals, and your focus seems to be on very big things that you want to accomplish with the World card. And of course, the goal itself, I'm just bringing these cards closer, they're more the clarifiers to the Queen of Swords, but Queen of Swords, again, could be a person very strongly influencing you at this time, but that Queen of Swords is definitely more of a receptive energy to me. Queen of Swords is, you know, using your intellect to overcome situations and problems and deal with your mentality in whatever it is that you need to get clear on. So it's knowledge, it's doing some research, it's, you know, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini as well, that could be influences here, but it is being an objective problem solver and very self-reliant. And I feel like that's where you're headed here. That is the goal. That is what's coming in the near future here as well. Again, that energy is still one of independence, but I feel like you almost need to balance out some of your spirituality and, you know, things that deal with the physical as well as the mental world before you kind of build up some power and empowerment in this period. Like I said, the energy is still coming through as, you know, being a little sharp-tongued here because there's a lot of swords energy, but it's still breakthrough energy through traditional means, persevering, that kind of thing. And it definitely is you not showing a lot of vulnerability at this time. It seems like your energy is one of, I need to get this done. I'm just going to focus on what I need to get done. And I'm not putting in a lot of energy, time, or energy into other people at this point. So again, eights are all about reevaluating and putting, you know, time, setting priorities, that kind of thing, putting time and energy behind projects or things that you really want to get going. But it's also about and able to move, you know, into the next level of fulfillment and attainment. You need to kind of release something. So it's about a regeneration and kind of renewing yourself and your thought patterns with that Eight of Pentacles. So I think you really have to, like I said, what needs to happen for you is more of internal dialogue, internal value system that you need to kind of address, but you are a work in progress at this point. So your focus is really on education or workshops or moving something ahead, you know, honing your skills, that kind of thing, moving something up to the next level, whether it's a degree or a talent or a hobby. But you have an interest in a specific career, which I think that it feels like there's more than one thing that's kind of entering your mind, because like I said, the Seven of Cups indicates there's a lot of confusion around a particular area, but it still feels like you're, you know, very responsible energy, and you're not afraid to take on assignments or put a little time and work and energy, and you know, you have a willingness to learn is what I would say there. There is, I mean, even in terms of a relationship, I still feel like there's some closed off energy here. Still willing to work on something if, you know, there was a situation that was at hand here in terms of romance, but it's also a note to pay attention to small considerations, small things that you can enhance a relationship with, and able to deepen that bond. So this is still in around kind of you know, and able to create this level of happiness for yourself. I think you really need to take a look at you know, how you can establish yourself. I feel like that is going to be the thing right now that helps to bring about some conclusion. But right now, like I said, the goal is further out. You are in the energy of wrapping up some kind of problem cycle here, and choosing a direction this month. And then I feel once you are able to get out of your own way, so to speak, that Nine of Cups is going to bring things to a conclusion, as is the World. But the World card is more about kind of you dealing with the problem at hand, which is you. You know, you're really stopping your own growth, but for whatever reason, it takes the time it takes to move into whatever stages that we need. Don't rush the process. I mean, you need time to integrate things and really find a level of fulfillment. So again, that Nine of Cups energy means that you are working towards this. This is what it's all about for you, is you are very focused on trying to find out what's going to make you happy in this month. So again, I don't feel like you have, once you're able to kind of work through, like I said, some of this emotional energy here, and that level of confusion, I feel like you'll be able to trust yourself again and bring about, you know, follow your inner voice, that kind of thing. And I feel like that's what it is, you know, through structures, through a lot of traditional means. I feel like you'll be able to find some level of security in the insecurity that I see that you're kind of moving through, but pulling yourself out of that blues and down sort of period and fighting yourself. And you'll be able to follow this inner voice and move to these new horizons here. Because like I said, Nine of Cups is coming up ahead. And this is really, you know, you getting what you want. And this is also being proud of yourself as well for putting in time, effort, energy into something. And so something, some of that discipline is going to bring you some level of satisfaction emotionally. And again, for those of you that are involved in a relationship of sorts, it does feel like there is some kind of deepening of a commitment, although albeit it feels still a little bit on the distant side of things, but it's still further out energy. But these cards really do indicate there's a lot of perseverance coming out. So like I said, I feel like you're moving in the right direction in the month of June. But again, you still got a lot to kind of integrate within, you know, first before you can really find the way through. I should really pull you an advice card here as well, but maybe I'll do that. Let me just pull out the other tarot I've got here. So this one will be the Archangel Power Tarot cards. 2 more seconds here. I'm just getting that ready. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a random card here. So I'm just going to take these cards away. Okay, what is the card that we need to see? 3, please, for advice for the month of June for Cancer. Okay, it's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once and try to make things fun for yourself. Okay, and what else do we have? Nurture yourself and those that you love and the ability to make anything more beautiful, practical, and wise advice. Last card out. What is it that Cancer needs as advice? I feel like I need to pull one more here. Make choices from your heart. Sorry, one more sec here. Make choices from your heart. Deeply emotional commitments, the power of love. So it feels like you really need to connect with your heart again. It feels like you really need to love you again. It feels like you need, and that's how you'll get your balance back. Let's just pull one more here. One more sec here, guys. What is it that Cancer needs as advice? Decision time. Release yourself from that which holds you back. A need to detox, unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence. So a lot of the same cards are kind of repeating here. It just feels like you're in a place where you are not actually finding, you're just not believing in yourself. You're just not in a space where you're actually, so that once you make that decision, you know, to let go of the things that you can't control, realize that you are a worthy person, that you do have a lot to offer, that is where you'll find some balance. You know, knocking yourself down when the rest of the world can do it for you is hardly the best route. You know, everybody's got those same challenges. Everybody faces all those same, you know, emotions of, you know, everybody goes through levels of rejection in whatever sphere they're in. Everybody goes through situations that are challenging, depression, all of those things. And this is really just you needing to get out of your own way and realize it's part of the human process. Don't be too attached to an outcome, because I think that is the thing that's holding you back. If you actually allowed yourself to just open up to the universe, trust the universe, trust that the pain sort of goes with the process, but not to personalize the pain. Because that is when you start running into problems, because then you start judging yourself, judging your actions. Why are you not this? Why is something not good enough? That kind of energy. But this is you being called to break free of those things that, like feelings and helplessness and levels of fear, anything that puts you into a situation of feeling trapped. Because know that you're hindering yourself. That's all self-created. This is really kind of the equivalent of the Eight of Swords, you know, and you do have the ability to free yourself just by changing reducing your negative thinking. So instead, and that'll move, and then move that in the direction of your heart's desire. The thing that will pull you ahead will be something that you feel is worthwhile to chase. Because when you're chasing something that is in line with your, you know, integrity and your values and your beliefs, that kind of thing, you won't let anything stop you, even the pains. It doesn't matter what the pains are. If it's a part of the things that you want, you don't mind taking on the challenge. You don't mind learning through the process, taking the hits and all of that, because it's, you know, eventually you'll get there. You know, the universe is not going to give you more than you can handle. It is really about you learning to love yourself mostly, but this is really deep felt emotions with the Lover's card, and this is encouraging you again to follow your heart. It doesn't have to be in regards to a romantic relationship, because most of the cards to me do not speak in that direction. It feels like you are maybe healing from a relationship of some sort, but either way, or a friendship or something there, but it, you know, significant connection, however it resonates. Either way, there is some kind of important choice that you need to make to yourself, and it's almost like, you know, because you're telling a story to yourself about how you think you should be, what things are, that kind of thing, and it's not a story that is in line with, you know, I don't want to say perfect connection or perfect, you know, it's not the perfect connection to you, because this is really a card of deliberation, but also kind of a recovery from a situation. Queen of Ariel, like I said, these are all cards that kind of speak to, you know, queens to me are receptive. So they're bringing things in and using resources and putting something out so that you can make use of a situation. Queen of Ariel, Two of Ariel, this is definitely in around that space of, you know, maybe feeling a little bit at a crossroads here, you know, where you've got to find balance because maybe you have too many jobs or you have too many decisions, but you need to manage your stress better. And that would be coming through taking bite-sized, smaller size decisions, making smaller, one foot in front of the other, to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, instead of trying to look at the whole big picture and say, this is where I need to be and why am I not, and seeing all the inadequacies. Because really, any kind of you know, step to step to step is always a growth period, and that's how you tweak, that's how you learn. So sorry guys, I think my internet just cut out there for a second, but either way, I do still feel like you have to put one foot in front of the other. Do the small steps. Don't overstress yourself. Don't look into this is so far away or whatever, because sometimes, you know, decisions or success or whatever we're trying to achieve can expedite really quickly. You know, it'll be hard, slow, and then all of a sudden we meet the right person, and then all of a sudden fortune changes. You know, somebody gives us the right tool, the right piece of information, everything just cycles in really quickly. So I just feel like you have a lot of challenges right now that you're trying to balance, and I feel like you just need to slow it down. Don't take on so much stress. Just do bite-sized decisions, small steps, and kind of go with the flow. Try to make it look a little easier for yourself, and it will become easier. So again, it's about you needing to balance out more of the time and energy and the care for yourself here as well, because Queen of Ariel, again, it still feels like, again, this could be a person that's in your life here as well, but it's also about nurturing yourself, and definitely speaks to, you know, making things more beautiful for yourself. You know, enhance a room, do something with your hair, or do something that makes you feel good about yourself so that you stand out, and it's more of a mature, practical sort of energy, and mature, practical energy looks after themselves, right? So this is, you know, giving to yourself and to others in a generous way, and this will help you to, you know, be a little happier because you are able to give to other people, and sort of that exchange helps you to feel, you know, better about yourself. But either way, it does speak to talents, special talents here as well that you need to develop. So again, give a little more love and time and attention to you, and you'll start to realize, you'll see that things are going to start turning around. I'm going to pull one more card. This will be from a different deck here. This is the Oracle cards, Radley Valentine, and of course the ones that I just did were the Archangel Power Tarot cards. And sorry guys, I don't always have all the boxes with each of them, but we're going to do this one. What is the positive? What is coming in for Cancer in the month of June that is positive, that they can rely on? What is coming in the month of June? Two cards. Okay, well, if you had a question, yes is the answer. So So there is something positive coming in. What can they look forward to in the month of June? There is something better ahead here for you. Okay, let's just pull one more. What is that that's coming in that's better? Within the next few months. And last one, don't stop. So something good is coming in for you, but it is going to take a few months to kind of manifest here. And there is something better up ahead here. Stay positive. Okay, I'm going to get you to ask a question, and then we'll pull just one more random card here and just see where that goes. So pose a question in your mind, and I will pull another card for you, Cancer. Doesn't have to be specific to June, but let's just see what comes out. Okay, the answer is no. Ask another question. What is coming in for Cancer in the month of June in regards to their question? Again, within the next few weeks, the situation will improve. So something that you're really focused on here seems to be telling you that something is going to improve. And I do see yes following that. So yes is what? What is the yes? And yes, your health is improving. Okay, well, that's excellent news. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Cancer, and hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight. And the card at the bottom was choose a new direction. So there might be something, again, with your mindset that you really need to alter here, because this is something that is not advantageous to you at this time. So you can work through this. You will get through it. And by the end of June, hopefully most of you will have worked through this energy. So just to let you know, you are doing an amazing job, even though you don't see it yet. Something is coming. No need to worry. All right. That is all I've got for you for the month of June. I'll do some other reads here further out, but in the meantime, stay positive. You have something really good coming forward here that you will be wanting. And like I said, all the cards, a lot of repeats, so there's nothing that you need to worry about. Everything is going as planned. You just need to work on you and your self-talk and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And again, keep moving forward. Remember who you are. Never give up.